When it comes to enriching garden soil, most people think of compost, manure, or commercial fertilizers. But there's a forgotten method, quietly used by gardeners for centuries, that transforms ordinary fallen leaves into a goldmine of soil nutrition: leaf mold. I decided to revisit this age-old recipe, a method that's often overlooked today, and the results completely blew me away. Within weeks, my garden beds were teeming with life. Moisture retention improved dramatically, and the soil became rich, dark, and crumbly. Leaf mold is nature's soil softener and moisture magnet. Unlike compost, which is a quick-fire nutrient source, leaf mold is more subtle but incredibly powerful. It's made from leaves that are left to decompose slowly under controlled conditions. The magic lies in its ability to improve soil structure. It acts like a sponge, holding water and slowly releasing it to plant roots, while also increasing aeration and feeding beneficial microbes. For gardeners dealing with heavy clay soils or sandy plots that dry out quickly, leaf mold is a true game-changer. How to start the forgotten leaf mold recipe. First, gather fallen leaves. Oak, maple, beech and hornbeam work best. Avoid glossy, waxy leaves like holly or eucalyptus, which break down slowly. Shred the leaves with a lawn mower or garden shredder if possible. This increases surface area and accelerates decomposition. Next, create a simple heap in a corner of your garden or inside a compost bin. The traditional recipe calls for layering leaves loosely and keeping them moist, much like a sponge, but without compacting them. Covering the heap with a breathable tarp or old burlap helps regulate moisture while preventing it from drying out in the sun. Why patience is part of the recipe. Leaf mold is a slow process, unlike commercial fertilizers that act immediately. But the wait is worth it. Over weeks, fungi and beneficial bacteria colonize the leaves, breaking down tough cellulose and transforming them into humus. Unlike compost, which generates heat during decomposition, leaf mold works at ambient temperature, so it can be left outside even in cooler climates. By checking periodically to ensure the pile remains damp and occasionally turning it to aerate, you create optimal conditions for microbial activity and speed up the process slightly. Now then, let's talk about how to accelerate leaf mold production without taking any shortcuts. If you're looking for faster results, layering your leaves with just a small amount of garden soil or mature compost will introduce those helpful microbes right from the start. Adding a light sprinkle of water and turning the pile every couple of weeks, well, that ensures consistent moisture and good airflow throughout. You can also use shredded leaves instead of whole ones, since those finer bits decompose much more rapidly. Within 1 to 3 months, you'll start to notice the pile shrinking, turning darker, and giving off that lovely sweet earthy aroma. Those are signs your leaf mold is nearly ready to use. Let's have a look at some practical applications for your garden beds, shall we? Leaf mold is really quite versatile. You can spread a generous layer over your garden beds before planting, and that'll help improve both water retention and soil structure. Mixing it into the top few inches of existing soil will enhance microbial activity and make nutrients more available to your plants. It's especially effective around vegetable beds, flower borders, and newly planted trees. I must say, after using the leaf mold from my very first batch, I noticed my soil held moisture much longer between waterings, which meant I didn't have to irrigate as often, and my plants showed stronger growth and much richer foliage. Now, let's cover some common mistakes and how to avoid them. The most frequent error is using leaves that are too wet or compacted, which can lead to anaerobic conditions and those unpleasant odours nobody wants. It's best to avoid glossy or resinous leaves, as they just don't break down easily. Neglecting moisture can slow the entire process, while overwatering can create mould issues that aren't related to the beneficial fungi we're after. The key, really, is to maintain a slightly damp environment, keep the pile loose, and let nature do its work. This patience, I assure you, pays off with a nutrient-dense, humus-rich end product. The impact on soil health and garden sustainability, well, it's truly remarkable. Using leaf mould transforms soil in ways that chemical fertilizers simply cannot. It encourages a thriving ecosystem of microorganisms, improves drainage in clay soils, and increases water retention in sandy soils. By relying on fallen leaves that would otherwise go to waste, you're also practicing true sustainability, turning what is often considered waste into a valuable resource for your garden. Over time, repeated applications of leaf mould build a deep, crumbly, fertile soil that promotes healthier plants and reduces dependency on synthetic amendments. Revisiting the leaf mould recipe reminded me that sometimes the simplest, oldest methods are the most effective. With patience, proper layering, and attention to moisture, ordinary leaves can become extraordinary soil enrichment. Whether you're a beginner gardener or an experienced soil enthusiast, this method offers a slow-release, sustainable way to improve your garden's productivity and resilience. If you found this guide useful, do consider subscribing to Hydra Haven for more practical gardening insights, and feel free to share it with fellow enthusiasts. The forgotten leaf mould recipe proves that the answers to thriving gardens are often right under our feet, literally.